Tuesday, which means it's time for another episode of my Talking Tea Tuesdays series. Today I have for us 6 Earl Grey based candles. Y'all, this is probably going to be one of my favorite episodes of the series. I love Earl Grey tea. I love Earl Grey tea candles, and I cannot wait to share with you all of these different fragrances from across multiple brands. So we do have quite a bit of variety. We have more that would lean towards a luxury candle brand, and then we have our classic Goose Creek Bath & Body Works options. Let's just start with our Goose Creek candle that's getting added to this episode. This just came out recently from Goose Creek as a part of, they have like a storm rain collection that they did. I was super critical of this in my lit review episode. I'll link that below too, because the label is AI generated, and it's very clearly AI generated. There are, for example, street posts that go into the building. There are street posts that go nowhere. It's just not great. And honestly, it's not that hard to find a stock photo of a storefront in London. Would have been really great if they could put in a little bit more effort on this one. All right, y'all. Sorry, I had to wait for the cat to get done eating. I didn't think you wanted that kind of ASMR today. Anyways, AI label, wish they had done better. I do like that they have these like looks like raindrops, like stains or water stains on the label. That's a fun feature. Stainless steel lid. And then the wax on this is, it's kind of, yeah, that's just white. Super ropey wicks on this one. Scent notes are Earl Grey tea, sparkling bergamot, and soothing chamomile. This is a very pretty, florally, bergamot-y tea candle. I am craving more bergamot. I want this to smell more like an Earl Grey. I think, more of the chamomile than I do Earl Grey, but I do get an essence of a black tea. I get a little bit of bergamot and a bit of chamomile. Beautiful. Delicious. But don't know if it's one of my favorites on cold. So that's the Goose Creek one. This one is a 14.5 ounce candle. Another one from Goose Creek that I picked up is their, this is part of their aromatherapy line, the Bergamot tea leaves. So you've got a wraparound label, pretty simple, nothing too snazzy or fancy, a little bit boring, I think. White lid, white wax. Thin, stiff wicks on this one, also a 14.5 ounce. Scent notes are fresh bergamot, lemon water, and tea leaves. This one is much more Earl Grey. Yeah, that's gorgeous. So you get the bergamot that you would expect from an Earl Grey, and then the lemon is subtle, but it helps to amplify the bergamot a little bit. And just complements the tea note that's in here. So it's more of a classic black tea note that I would think of as like a Lipton's tea or like an English breakfast note with bergamot and the lemon added. And sometimes I think of Earl Grey tea as really smelling mostly like bergamot. So this one's pretty well balanced and having that tea leaf note in there as well. It's gorgeous. If this one throws, I will be very happy with this fragrance. I think this is more authentically Earl Grey. Next one I have is a discontinued Bath & Body Works candle. I thought about excluding it because it is a discontinued candle, but y'all, I love it so much that I wanted to include it just in case you get your hands on it somewhere. This is the Queen Charlotte's tea that came out as part of the Netflix Bridgerton collab, and this is from last year's release. Loved the labels on these. This is textured, so it feels pretty, kind of looks like wallpaper. And then you've got this beautiful gold foil accent on the label. And the jar lids were just phenomenal. They all had this kind of, reminds me of like a tin ceiling design. This one I have already burned already. I got this before I was planning on doing a tea series. So I have already cheated and smelled this one on warm. These wicks, just by looking at them, are clearly ropey wicks. And the scent notes on this are rich bergamot, bold citrus, black tea leaves. Oh, I love this one so much. The bergamot comes through, but I think the citrus is stronger. You get just like a really juicy orange note to it with some I think, brightness from the bergamot that helps kind of liven it up and make it a little more tart. And then you get that black tea note that's in there. Oh, so beautiful. Yeah, these are very similar. This one is more orangey and fruity though. And I'm not always an orange fan, but I like the juiciness of this. Really pretty. Now I heard that these were MOS'd, so marked out of sale and destroyed. I am still hoping to see these for SAS. And if those come back for SAS, I'm buying a bunch. Next one, we have a small business brand. Now y'all, I have not had good things to say about this company so far. The green tea episode, almost no throw. This company showed up in my coffee series, also no throw. Beautiful mocha fragrance, but I couldn't smell it. I don't have high hopes for this, but I'm going to give them one more try. This is my last candle by the Serendipity Soy Candle Company out of Canada. It's their last chance for me because the other two have been complete duds. They smell great, but you just can't smell them. So this is a soy wax, white, and then they have really thin, they get pretty curly braided wick in there. They have the screw top lids. The label on this does show a little bit of lavender on the front, which is cute, but otherwise pretty simple label, kind of boring. Let me snag the scent notes because this is just smelling like soap to my nose and I want to make sure that I'm not missing something. Okay, yeah, this is their Earl Grey and lavender. It's supposed to be top note lavender, middle note Earl Grey tea, and bottom note vanilla. This smells very soapy to me. And I don't really get much Earl Grey tea. I mean, you could convince me this is lavender. It smells very muted. I think the vanilla is weighing it down. But even then, it doesn't really smell like vanilla either. It's like this creamy body care vibe. Or like soapy vibe. Yeah, I don't really like this on cold. I'm not sure that anything's going to change on warm. I mean, it's a pretty fragrance. I just don't think it smells like a tea candle. And it definitely doesn't smell like a lavender candle. I almost feel like I should exclude that one now. But it's already in here, so I'm going to keep it in. Okay, the last two. One is from a company you're going to already have some familiarity with if you've been watching my tea episodes. This is the Tea House Candle Company. Again, they only do tea fragranced candles. If you've also been watching the previous episodes, you know that these smell phenomenal on cold, but just don't have strength or throw. This is the larger size, so I have some hope. This is the, 14? Yeah, 14 ounce. The other ones are smaller. I think those were 8 ounce. I'm hoping this one will be stronger, but I don't know, y'all. Always comes with a little insert that gives you a scent story on the back of the card. This one says, undoubtedly the most classically English tea there is, Earl Grey was created in the mid-19th century and is now one of the most popular tea blends in the world. Known for its distinct bergamot, vanilla, and cedarwood notes, Earl Grey tea is uniquely smoky, delicately sweet, and refreshingly aromatic. It has scent notes of black tea, bergamot, and cedarwood. This is gorgeous. I don't get much black tea, honestly. And this gets, it's pretty strong on the cedarwood. And you kind of just get a hint of bergamot. And there's something in here that smells floral to me. I'm not sure what that is. But it's very pretty. It almost smells like rose. That is not a scent note, and that's not something that would normally show up in an Earl Grey tea. And I don't get anything smoky. I get mostly cedarwood and what smells like a floral note with a hint of bergamot. Gorgeous. But I don't think it's going to compare to the other bergamot candles I have. So this one is a 3-wick jar. And these are thin, curly wicks. Now, they do their jars a little bit different. So if you look at, in comparison, like the Goose Creek, you'll notice it's a lot shorter, a lot squattier. It's also filled to the brim. And then they are about the same, yeah, in terms of diameter, but shorter, less empty space, which that's not necessarily a good thing for candles because this is going to expose the candle to a lot of draft and can make it difficult to throw. It's going to take it longer for the wicks in the pool to get below the shield of the glass and keep it from really going crazy and getting sooty. I might burn this one in a hurricane to help protect that from happening. Yeah, love it. Look, the simple labels too. They're not trying to overcomplicate things. All right, next one is, I do not know how to say this word.
Apotheke.
So I'm not even going to try. Y'all can look at the screen. It's a popular candle brand. It's considered more of a luxury brand. This one was pricey for the size. Burn time is estimated to be 60 to 70 hours. This is the Earl Grey Bitters fragrance. It is classic Earl Grey tea leaves blended with lemon zest, bergamot, and peony. It says, for a relaxing moment. Comes in the box. It's kind of cool. It's got like the little burn tips here. Noted. And then these candles are so bougie, they don't come with a lid. I'm seeing that that's a trend with luxury brands, is they don't include lids. So it just comes with this plastic topper that you can take off there. White wax. This one is thin, super thin, going to be curly. Wick. And then this is a frosted glass. Now, I gotta tell y'all, I'm a textural person. I do not like the texture of this jar. It's very dry, very matte. It makes me kind of cringy. I don't like touching it. But that's just me. It's not everybody, but it bothers me, the texture of this glass. Also, for the price, and given that it's a luxury candle, there are some defects. I don't know if that's going to show up, but there's some markings along the top edge of this candle that I would not expect from a luxury candle brand. And that is a little bit disappointing. If I were gifting this, I would try to scrub that up. This is pretty. I don't get a lot of tea. This also feels soapy to me. That's probably the peony, honestly. Peony can read soapy. I definitely don't get zesty lemon. I do get bergamot, but it's not super strong. This almost smells more like a green tea or white tea candle, y'all. It's pretty, but it doesn't read like bergamot or Earl Grey to me on cold. We'll see. I'm hoping that it comes to life more on warm. I'm also looking at this jar and thinking that might have some tunneling issues given its size and how puny that wick is. We'll see. That's why I do these reviews, y'all, so that I can have the issues so you don't have to waste your money. All right, I'm going to go burn these, take some notes, get some first impressions, spend some time with these, see how they do as they go down into the vessel, and then I will report back right after the cut and not wait to share what I find with you. I'm back, y'all, and I have spent many hours with these candles. I want to give you an update and rank them from least favorite to favorite, given the burn and warm impression. Let me see. Number 6. It won't be a big surprise to y'all. Earl Grey and Lavender by Serendipity. Compared to the other candles that I've burned by Serendipity, I would say this was the strongest. However, means nothing because it was still a very weak candle. I could barely smell it, even when sitting right next to it. However, when I had it on my desk, I could smell it. With that said, I did not enjoy the fragrance. This smells so much like soap to me, or like a floral deodorant. I don't usually like to use this expression when talking about candles because I feel like it's ageist. But I think it's actually like a scent family in the wax community. Old lady vibes. I mean, that's the only way I can describe it, that I feel like everybody knows what that means. It smells kind of like a floral face powder that like my grandma would have worn, that she picked up from Avon. So no throw. Like, I couldn't smell this if I wasn't sitting at my desk. And then in terms of strength, just really poor. Now, did it burn cleanly? Yeah, sure. There's a pretty clean jar. A little bit of wax residue on the side. Did have a soot issue here. I'll put it at the right angle so you can see that. I don't know what happened here, and I don't know why. It was just like one of the burns, and it was pretty early on. I mean, I would say like right here, and actually that's where the line is. I feel like maybe the wick, because of these being thin curly, maybe it curled over just right and was angling towards the glass. but that was the only spot, and it was only in the very beginning that that happened. Otherwise, super clean burn, which is standard with soy wax. I don't know. I'm not impressed with this company. That's probably clear if you've been watching my channel for a bit. So this one, let me look up the price for y'all, because this was, I think they did like a 15% off of your first order, or maybe it was just a single candle. So this is the 16 ounce, 80 hours. I would say that's accurate. This thing I feel like wouldn't die. I really kind of was hate burning it towards the end just to see how it finished off. And the 16 ounce jar is $25. So for a candle that's mostly unscented, no throw, very low strength, this is overpriced. Plus I had to pay extra fees and import stuff from Canada when I ordered it. Not a repurchase, not a recommendation for you. However, I like that I can reuse the jar. I can wash this out and I can use that jar for food storage. Number 5 is definitely going to go to Tea House Candles Earl Grey. As you might recall, if you watched episode 2 on white tea, there was the silver needle candle in the smaller size. The smaller one is 8 ounces. This one's 14. And I feel like the 8 ounce in the silver needle had stronger strength and throw than this one did in the 14 ounce. The other issue I have with this candle is that this cedarwood note that's in here on warm becomes kind of cologne-y and masculine, which to me is just a huge disservice to Earl Grey. Earl Grey is supposed to be a very feminine, very citrusy, floral tea vibe, and it's supposed to be light and just bright and beautiful. And the cedarwood on warm just drags this down into cologne-y masculine level. And it was surprising to me because on cold, I really don't get the cedar note at all. It only comes through when it's warm, and then I feel like it's too much. So I would not rebuy this one. Disappointed in the throw. And for the price, again, I had to pay import taxes on this as well because this is Canadian. 14 ounce is $45. So even for a 14 ounce jar, that's already expensive. Add on top of that the extra taxes and imports. Add on top of that the throw isn't that great and the strength isn't that great. And then add on top of that I don't really like the scent. No, I'm not going to buy this one again. Disappointed. This company really had my heart on cold sniff. These all smelled so good. And so far, of the candles in the 3 episodes that I've revealed to you, only one of them has been really good. And even then, given the cost, I don't think it was repurchase worthy. So not a recommendation for you. Don't like it. Will not be a rebuy for me. Number 4, I am assigning to Goose Creek's Rainy Day Tea Shop. This candle is, as the kids say, mid, right? Like I don't dislike it, but I also don't love it, and I just feel like the performance was kind of meh. It had good strength. I could smell it. It was strong, especially if I sat next to it. It had decent throw. Like, it won't fill an open concept, but it did okay in my bedroom. However, there's just something about this that isn't... It's not Earl Grey enough to me, which is weird because the first 2 scent notes would hint at there being a strong Earl Grey vibe. It's Earl Grey tea and sparkling bergamot, but honestly, what I smell most on this candle is the chamomile that's in it. To the point where I was like, oh, this probably should have been in the herbal tea episode because I feel like I get chamomile more than I do Earl Grey. This doesn't smell like an Earl Grey candle to me on warm. And I feel like it evolved a little bit and just became more chamomile. Maybe that's just in my head. But in general, wasn't super impressed. Now, was it a clean burn for Goose Creek? Yeah. I didn't have burn issues. I did let the wicks self-extinguish. The wax pool stayed relatively clean. I don't have a lot of soot in the jar. I also did like how this jar looked while burning. Did not like the high label. That bothered me the entire time. I will not repurchase this one this season. If this comes out again in a different label next year or a different label this year, I would probably consider rebuying it, but I'm gonna buy it under the understanding that this is more of a chamomile candle, not an Earl Grey one. So this one, You know, you can normally get these $10, $11, wait for a good sale, don't pay full price at Goose Creek. So worth trying if you like chamomile. I don't think I would lean towards it if you're looking for an Earl Grey tea. However, they do have an actual one that smells like Earl Grey, and that's going to be my number 3 pick, and that is Bergamot tea leaves. Bergamot Plus tea leaves, excuse me. This is a part of their wellness line, the aromatherapy. It's supposed to be uplifting strength. I don't know if I agree with that. I feel like this is just a standard Goose Creek candle. It did have good strength. I could definitely smell it, and it was really pleasant sitting next to me while I was at my desk. The throw, again, is average. It won't fill my open concept, but it did a good job in my bedroom. And I think of all of the ones I've already ranked, this one most smells like Earl Grey. It's very pleasant. You actually do get a black tea note. I also get a vibe of that it is Earl Grey, meaning it has some sort of bergamot essence to it. And it does actually smell how Earl Grey tea does when you're steeping it. So you get that nice citrus, bright, feminine, light, just beautiful citrus. It, to me, reads a little bit like a floral, but yeah, it's gorgeous. I did think, and I don't have that jar here, I did think this one smelled quite a bit like Bath & Body Works white tea and sage, except that one has like a grounding element in it from the sage and the earthiness. But there's something about this that felt similar to that one, which if I recall, I think that one does have like a sparkling bergamot note in it. So if you like that one, I think you might like this one too, especially if you like the white tea and sage for the bergamot essence. This would be a good one to pick up. This one, like the other Goose Creek candle, you can get this for $10 or $11. Just wait for a good sale. I do recommend this if you're looking for a good bergamot tea candle. And this one did okay in terms of soot, just a little bit in the jar. Got a little bit of a murky wax pool, but in general it did well. I didn't see it sooting, but I can see there's just a little bit of soot in the jar, kind of right over here on this edge. So for me, it was clean. It wasn't a noticeable bad burn. Also, the bugs like it. That's a bug back there. I have so many fruit flies right now, even though I don't have rotting fruit sitting around. I think they love the apples that I have sitting out on the counter. So they keep flying into the flame, and then they just become mummified corpses in my candle wax. Anyway, recommendation for you, rebuy for me. This will definitely be a repeat go-to if I'm looking for Earl Grey candles. The last two are very hard for me to evaluate for several reasons. One is because the one I love the most is way too expensive. And then the one I love second most, mostly because of its value and its throw, is discontinued. So y'all, it's a real toss-up. I think I'm gonna go with the, and I looked up how to say this, and I guess it depends on if you're trying to speak the actual German or if you're trying to speak the English version of German. I think it's Apotheke. Anyways, if you're speaking German, it sounds different. If in English, I think it's like Apotheke. This one. And I get that, like, these candle companies want to sound trendy and like cool and whatever, but you know, if customers can't say your name, I have the same issue with Volupa, whatever. It's like, if I can't say the name of your company and share that brand information with my viewers, with my family, with my friends, you're missing out, right? Just make it simple. Goose Creek, right? Bath & Body Works, Swan Creek. These are easy names. Anyways, this is a luxury candle. It is very pricey, and I just can't justify the price on this. I love it. This is, of the entire batch, the one that to me smells most like Earl Grey. I mean, this literally just smells like you've seeped, I would almost say over seeped. This is, and it makes sense because it's bitters, and bitters is like what you would, it's like highly concentrated essential oil that you would put in drinks. So this doesn't necessarily smell drinkable. Like, I don't know that I would want to drink a tea that smells this strong, but it smells legitimately like Earl Grey. It's just a very beautiful, clean, it's not overly complicated. Just looking up the scent notes again because I don't remember. Yeah, bergamot, black tea leaves, lemon zest, rose, peony, woods, amber, and musk. I don't get most of that. I definitely don't get rose or peony in here. To me, this just smells like straight up bergamot with a lemon zest in it. And there is some warmth to it, but it doesn't overpower. Like, I don't get a strong sense of the amber, the woods, or the musk. So if you like Earl Grey, you want that bergamot note, and you want it to be highly concentrated and really not smell like much else, I think this is a good go-to. However, with that said, for this tiny little jar, which is 10.5 ounces, this thing is 46 bucks. So I don't think it's worth the price. I also will say that I did have some burn issues with it. It tunneled. You'll notice I didn't finish this one because I didn't want to just rip through it for the research, given that I like it and the price. And I do have a little bit of discoloration from sooting. So it's not even that clean of a burn. It's got issues with the tunneling. I feel like the color of this jar is not the best choice for candles because the soot and the wick residue, it easily smears and kind of just makes it look really ugly. I don't think I'll repurchase this one, which is another reason why I didn't finish it, because I want to enjoy it while I have it. But I do really like it. I feel like it's a quality Earl Grey fragrance. So if you're into more luxury line costs and you want something that smells like Earl Grey, I say give this a try. However, not a repurchase for me. It's just not, I don't want to pay that much for candles. And the one I love almost as much, but it's also discontinued, damn you, Bath & Body Works, is the Queen Charlotte's Tea. I love this fragrance, y'all. Also, I didn't finish this one. I couldn't. Every time I went to light it, I'm like, no, but I have to get through to like the bottom. I have to show them the burn quality. I couldn't bring myself to do it because I only have one more of these after this. And I love this candle so much that I can't do it. And normally I would be like, oh, well, this is going to be out at Summer Sass for 75% off because these were 50% off at Winter Sass. However, and I wish I had known this, I didn't stock up on Winter Sass because there were so many left that I thought for sure I could get some at 75 this summer. But that was before I knew that Bath & Body Works was going to MOS, mark out of sale, all of their Bridgerton line and destroy it. That's what I heard on Reddit. So if I had known that, I would have bought a ton of these at 50% off. I didn't, and lesson learned, but that means I only have one more left. And this fragrance is just so delicious. This is, to me, like the quintessential Earl Grey candle. You get the tea note, you get the Earl Grey, and this smells just how, like, if I can close my eyes and smell it and I feel like I'm sitting next to a hot cup of Earl Grey tea that has just gotten done steeping and I'm about to enjoy it. It gives you that full vibe, essence experience. It makes me think there's tea in front of me. It had good strength. It had good throw. I have absolutely no complaints about it. And what I did get through was a very clean burn. There's no soot in there. Just a beautiful candle, beautiful label, beautiful lid. I want this candle to come back. And I am still going to keep an eye out for Summer Sass and see if anybody's got this. It's possible maybe that some stores didn't MOS this line. And if I can find it and they'll sell it to me, I'm going to buy as many as I can get because I love this candle. So I would say if you see this at Sass this summer, pick it up. It's worth it, especially if you're looking for Earl Grey. If you want to binge on high-cost luxury candles, then pick up this one. And if you want a budget-friendly, available alternative, this is your go-to, the Goose Creek one. So you have options. The other three I probably wouldn't really even consider. Maybe the other Goose Creek one if you're desperate, but for the most part, the best ones are those first three. This one, if you can get it at Sass, it's normally 30 bucks, so that would be what 30 divided by 4 is just under $8. So not a bad deal if you can get it for 75% off. All right, y'all, this is the end of the Earl Grey episode. Let me know in the comments which one you would pick up. Have you tried any of these? And if you have, please share your experience in the comments. I love to get additional feedback, and you all share stuff with each other, and I love seeing you communicate with one another in the comment section. Also, if you appreciated this episode, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. And if you are returning, thanks so much for watching another one of my videos. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button before you move on to your next YouTube adventure. I'll see you in my next video. Until then, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.